During the Vietnam War, American military planners faced a frustrating and almost impossible problem, because despite years of bombing campaigns and enormous military pressure, North Vietnamese forces continued moving weapons, ammunition, and thousands of soldiers south through an intricate jungle supply network known as the Ho Chi Minh Trail, a sprawling system of hidden roads and pathways that wound through the mountains and forests of Laos and Cambodia, where thick vegetation concealed constant movement from aircraft flying overhead. Every time American bombers destroyed sections of the trail, North Vietnamese engineers would repair the damage within days, sometimes even within hours, rebuilding bridges overnight while trucks carrying fuel, artillery shells and food supplies continued rolling south toward the battlefield with relentless efficiency. Traditional warfare was failing to stop the flow, so American strategists began exploring a strange and controversial idea that sounded less like military planning and more like science fiction. Because instead of destroying the trail directly, they wondered whether it might be possible to destroy the environment around it, transforming the roads themselves into impassable swamps that trucks could not cross and supply convoys could not navigate. Their solution involved manipulating the weather. The concept behind the plan relied on a scientific process known as cloud seeding, a technique originally developed for weather research, in which aircraft release microscopic particles of chemicals such as silver iodide into storm clouds, encouraging moisture inside the clouds to condense more quickly and form raindrops that fall as heavier rainfall across the region below. Under normal circumstances, cloud seeding was used for peaceful purposes, like increasing rainfall during droughts or helping agriculture in dry areas. But American military planners believed the same technology could be turned into a weapon capable of extending the monsoon season over Southeast Asia and drowning the Ho Chi Minh Trail beneath endless storms. The operation was given a strangely harmless name, Operation Popeye. Beginning in 1967, specially equipped American aircraft quietly began flying secret missions over Laos, where crews dispersed silver iodide into developing storm systems, drifting across the jungle mountains, while maintaining strict radio silence and operating under orders that classified the entire program at the highest levels of secrecy. Each mission was designed to increase rainfall over key segments of the trail, where trucks frequently traveled, targeting bottlenecks such as river crossings, mountain passes, and narrow jungle roads that could easily collapse under heavy flooding. And remarkably, it worked. Rainfall in targeted areas increased significantly, sometimes extending seasonal monsoon conditions by several weeks, and transforming dirt roads into deep rivers of mud, where trucks became stranded, and supply convoys slowed dramatically as drivers struggled to navigate terrain that seemed to dissolve beneath their wheels. Entire sections of the jungle trail system turned into flooded wastelands, where landslides buried roads and vehicles sank into thick layers of mud, while soldiers attempting to move supplies were forced to wade through waist-deep water under relentless rainstorms that appeared to arrive again and again without warning. To American commanders watching from afar, the strategy appeared promising, because the weather itself had become a weapon capable of disrupting logistics on a massive scale without requiring constant bombing or risking additional pilots in dangerous airspace. For years, Operation Popeye continued largely unnoticed, with American aircraft conducting thousands of cloud seeding missions, while the public remained completely unaware that the United States was actively manipulating rainfall patterns in Southeast Asia as part of a classified military experiment. The secrecy surrounding the project was extreme. Even many officials within the United States government had no knowledge that the operation existed, and the pilots flying the missions were often instructed to describe their flights as routine weather research if anyone ever asked about their activities. But secrecy has a way of collapsing. In 1971, investigative journalists began uncovering evidence that something unusual had been happening in the skies over Laos, and leaked documents eventually revealed the existence of Operation Popeye to the world, exposing a secret program in which weather modification had been used deliberately as a tool of war. The revelations shocked both the American public and the international community, because the idea that governments could manipulate rainfall or potentially influence entire climate systems raised unsettling questions about how such technology might be used in future conflicts. If rain could be weaponized, many feared that droughts, hurricanes, or other environmental forces might eventually be manipulated as well. The controversy quickly spread through diplomatic circles and scientific communities, where researchers warned that tampering with weather systems could produce unpredictable consequences far beyond military targets, potentially altering ecosystems or creating storms that affected entire regions. The backlash was immediate. Facing growing criticism and international pressure, the United States eventually ended Operation Popeye in 1972, but the discovery of the program had already sparked global debate about environmental warfare and the dangerous possibilities created when technological power begins to extend beyond traditional weapons. In response to the scandal, nations around the world negotiated a new international agreement known as the Environmental Modification Convention, a treaty specifically designed to prohibit the use of weather manipulation or other environmental engineering techniques as weapons during military conflict. The goal was simple: prevent the weather from becoming the next battlefield. Yet Operation Popeye had already demonstrated something remarkable and unsettling at the same time. Because for several years during the Vietnam War, aircraft flying quietly above the clouds had successfully altered rainfall across thousands of square miles of jungle terrain. Human beings had learned how to control the rain, and once the sky itself becomes a weapon, it raises a question that still lingers decades later. How many other experiments might exist that the public has never been told about?